Lecture 9 covers Chapter 8, Towards a Future Free of Manipulation. This chapter synthesizes the book's legal and technological argument. It does not merely ask how to punish dark patterns after the event. It asks how law, design, and technical measures might move digital environments toward fairness, autonomy, and accountability. The chapter begins by stressing that deceptive design produces cumulative effects. It undermines autonomy, informed decision-making, and trust. The harm extends beyond individual choices and reaches competition, market confidence, and structural power. This starting point matters because a future-oriented regulatory response cannot treat each manipulative prompt as an isolated incident. It must address the environment that normalizes manipulation. The chapter seems to revisit the EDPB's categories of data protection dark patterns: overloading, skipping, stirring, obstructing, fickle design, and left in the dark. These categories help connect interface design to GDPR principles such as fairness, transparency, accountability, and data protection by design and default. The point is not only that bad consent banners violate privacy law, it's that privacy protective choice depends on design that makes rights meaningful. The consumer law section examines hidden fees, false urgency queues, subscription traps, cancellation friction, and dark patterns in financial investment interfaces. The chapter argues that traditional benchmarks, such as the average consumer, can struggle with the realities of digital interactions. Users face fatigue, friction, salience effects, status quo bias, and asymmetries of knowledge. Consumer law therefore needs a more contextual understanding of digital vulnerability. The chapter then turns to emerging work on fair patterns. This is a crucial positive move. Regulation should not only say what designers must avoid, it should identify designs that support autonomy. Fair patterns include plain language, balanced presentation, protective defaults, timely information, choices that remain accessible, and interfaces that trigger reflective thinking where the stakes justify it. The goal is to design against cognitive exploitation rather than to design around it. The chapter also discusses technical measures and behavioral audits. Screenshots and legal analysis remain useful, but they do not capture all manipulation. Regulators and researchers need tools that can test journeys, compare account states, detect the same asymmetry, identify hidden defaults, and scrutinize system behavior. Technical measures matter because sophisticated deceptive design may not be obvious to a user or even repeatable through an ordinary test account. The chapter's forward-looking section concerns large action models, or LAMs. These systems can act on behalf of users, navigate interfaces, choose options, and complete tasks. This creates a new frontier. If AI agents accept cookies, select subscriptions, purchase products, or follow platform prompts, then manipulation may target the agent, the user, or the system that mediates between them. Agentic AI therefore magnifies the importance of architecture. LAMs can personalize strategies based upon vulnerability markers and adapt over time. A system may appear compliant at the interface while embedding manipulative tactics in the architecture. The user sees an apparently ordinary choice environment. The system, however, may have learned when to introduce friction, which alternative to hide, which offers to surface, and how to nudge an agent or user toward a platform favoring outcome. Chapter 8 therefore calls for systemic reform. A Digital Fairness Act or a similar instrument would need to address fairness audits, algorithmic transparency, vulnerable users, or systemic incentives. But law alone will not suffice. Effective reform requires enforcement capacity, technical expertise, education, design standards, and inter-regulatory cooperation. The response must move from reactive casework to anticipatory governance. So Chapter 8 closes the doctrinal arc of the book. It shows that the future of digital fairness depends on regulating both visible patterns and invisible adaptive architectures. The next and final lecture turns to the afterword, where the book reflects on the journey, the limits of law, and the continuing fight for fair digital environments.